Joseph.
And I'm Lexi, and these are your bullet points.
Last week was Greek Games at Bullitt East High School, and we hope every student was able to attend the event. I asked Dustin Receiver, a junior at Bullitt East, what he thought about Greek Games, and he said, Greek Games was really interesting this year, and I enjoyed it a lot, especially seeing the teachers beat the juniors in tug-of-war. Overall, tug-of-war was my favorite part, and I can't wait for next year. I enjoyed Greek Games myself, especially since it was my first year at the school and being able to go to an event like this. Now let's look at some footage that was taken during Greek Games.
How can we complain about the weather we had last weekend? I mean, it was perfect for our spring festival, was it not? Well, as I said, in town this past weekend was our annual Mount Washington Spring Festival. The town was excited to celebrate its 39th year and filled it with many things to do. As a community, everyone was able to share some awesome company with one another through some good food, rides, vending, parade, music, and more. The BECN would like to recognize and say we are proud to have our marching band and choir be a part of the festival. The marching band performed in the parade Saturday afternoon along with the choir performing in the gazebo at 2. We would also like to congratulate Junior Cassidy Burrows for competing in the pageant that was hosted there and being named Miss Mount Washington. To end, we suggest that if you didn't make it out to this year's festival, you should definitely make it out next year. The festival is not one to miss. Now on to the Red Zone Sports Report.
I'm Trevor, and this is your Red Zone Sports Report. Did it get hot in here, or the baseball team is catching fire? The baseball team is still on their winning streak by winning 5 more games, including their win against Butler mentioned last week. In the first of 5 games, Chargers faced Central Hardin and won by a score of 4-2. Then they went on the road in the next 2 games against Ballard and Bethlehem High Schools and won by scores of 6-5 and 6-1 respectively. Finally, the Chargers brought home back in Charger Nation in a doubleheader against South Oldham and county rival North Bullitt and won by scores of 3-2 and 4-1 respectively. That's a great thing now, being on a 6-game win streak, and let's hope it continues before the regular season comes to an end real soon. The softball team seems to get their groove lately by winning their last 2 games in a row. In the first game, the Chargers faced Sacred Heart at home and won with the score of 7-4. Then they traveled to Nelson County and then defeated Nelson County by a score of 11-0. This is a good sign for the softball team, especially after losing a few games. So let's hope they can keep with this winning streak. Now on to this week's Red Zone Scoreboard.
Hey, I'm Austin, and welcome to Electoral Dysfunction. Three American citizens held for months in North Korea have been released, U.S. President Donald Trump announced Wednesday. Kim Dong-chul, Kim Hak-song, and Kim Sang-duk were freed during U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo's second visit to North Korean capital of Pyongyang in 2 months. The detainees were returning to the United States as Trump prepares to make history by becoming the first sitting U.S. president to meet face-to-face with a North Korean leader. Trump's administration had previously said that if the North Koreans freed the 3 Americans, it would be viewed as a goodwill gesture ahead of the planned summit between Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. The prisoners have been released, and the good gesture was accepted along with a supposed date to which President Trump will meet with Kim. Iranian lawmakers shouted "Death to America" and set fire to a paper U.S. flag during angry scenes at the country's parliament in Tehran, a day after President Trump pulled out of the nuclear deal. The protest came as Iranian officials, including Parliament Speaker Ali Larijani and President Hassan Rouhani, said Wednesday they hoped European leaders will work with them to preserve the deal between Tehran and world powers without the U.S., but stressed that the nation could now decide to resume its nuclear program. If you get on YouTube, I'm sure finding the video will not be too difficult. There are some evil people who hate our country and our way of life, so I guess we need to work on helping to protect what we have. Now here's to Jacob with Plugged In.
Thanks, Austin. I'm Jacob. Now let's level up with Plugged In. kids, want to watch something that isn't sad and depressing? Well, then why not watch a movie that involves a hero who's awesome that Slade wishes he was the awesome one? Deadpool. That's right, he's back in his red spandex and plenty of one-liners to make you laugh. And unlike a certain superhero team based off something decent, this merc with a mouth deserves his time on the big screen. Again, fans cannot wait to see their favorite murdering psychopath anti-hero return. In fact, one fan said, "I can't wait to see him again on the big screen. Hopefully it will be just as funny as the last one." End quote. Well, one thing's for sure, it will be time to get a chimichanga and go see Wade kill a couple of suckers. Oh, and if any of you goons who work for the baddies are watching, make sure you wear your brown pants.
Hate breaks, Thanos.
You know them, you love them, but you may not have the IQ to understand them. It's Rick and Morty, Season 4 coming out with a whopping 70 episodes? Well, that's way more episodes than Rick and Morty's first 3 seasons combined. This is big news for the Rick and Morty fans. Season 4's release date is still unknown, but it's hinted that it will come out sometime during the holiday season. It's been a long wait since season 3. Hopefully evil Rick and Morty doesn't come in and ruin everything. Now back to the studio.
My name is Joe.
And I'm Lexi.
I'm Austin.
I'm Trevor.
I'm Jacob.
Thank you for watching. Our next show will be May 25th.